This is the TV News, the industry's only daily video report, brought to you by American Ingenuity TV. For all of your electronic marketing and creative needs, American Ingenuity TV is simply the solution.
Welcome to the tvnews.tv for Monday, March 1st, and today we're going to focus big time on the big picture, which is analysis and commentary. It was an extraordinary weekend for the television and new media news business, and we kept a close eye on all of the reporting of the dynamic geological news events that effectively gripped America and the world all day Saturday. Television marketing and new media expert Stan Melton Jr., who remains on leave from the tvnews.tv, once said that in this era of new media, we don't have to find the big news stories. They'll find us. Nothing could be more true, as the Chilean earthquake news found me on Twitter just as the news broke at 5:34 a.m. on Saturday morning. I immediately shifted over to my trusted cable TV news sources. CNN was on the story, but was struggling with their skeleton overnight crew. MSNBC was having an even tougher time keeping up with such a massive breaking story at such an early hour. And Fox News? Well, they were mired in an encore of Hannity and would remain there for the next half hour until someone decided to get into the game. Hello, Fox News. Strongest earthquake on the planet since 1960. Anybody home? Too busy beating up Obama, I guess. At 6 a.m., the cable news net's A-teams were given the ball, and the cable TV news net's coverage for the next few hours, well, it was very, very thorough. Now, I was not a fan of CNN handing off to CNN International for 2 hours in the early afternoon. Nothing against CNN International. I was there at their birthing. But the coverage just does not measure up with CNN's domestic mothership. But special kudos to CNN's Chad Myers and the meteorological staff for delving into the scientific aspects of this frightening event. You couldn't help but be geologically smarter after a CNN Rocks for Jocks lecture. How did the self-professed world's best meteorologists at the Weather Channel perform early in the game? Well, they were just much too busy cross-promoting the Winter Olympics. Couldn't be bothered. Now, when it became apparent that the rest of the world was going to be affected by the tsunami generated by the Chilean quake, we were astonished to note how all cable TV news nets were ignoring this compelling new part of the equation. Sure, we were very much concerned about what had happened in Chile, but from an American standpoint, the real riveting story shifted dramatically to what might happen in Hawaii, the U.S. West Coast, and the rest of the Pacific Basin. Where, oh where, was the advanced live coverage in these potentially affected areas? I'll tell you where. It was not to be found on the cable TV news nets. And after several frustrating hours of no pictures or throws to Hawaiian affiliates regarding tsunami preparations, we were forced to return to new media sources to see how Hawaii and the rest of the world were faring in the face of what could be a series of geological upheavals. And it was at this point that new media shined, courtesy of innovative distribution platforms like Ustream, sites instantly constructed, deployed, and even managed by mere individuals like hitsunami.com and hitsunami.info popped up with Ustream feeds from Honolulu broadcast affiliates, bulwarked by non-stop Twitter streams. It was informative, compelling, and outstanding, and quite frankly, head and shoulders above the established and massive resources of the cable news networks. It was only a half an hour, and sometimes even less, before the scheduled strike of the tsunami that the TV news nets got around to hardcore live shots and live reports from Hawaii, and still nothing from the rest of the Pacific Basin. It was too little, too late for the news nets. Oh, and you had to ask yourself, hey, with the financial implications of what could be a near worldwide geological cataclysmic event, we turned to the self-professed worldwide leader in business, CNBC. Was closed for regular business. Nobody home. Gone fishing. They did contribute to covering this mega event by presenting a cavalcade of non-stop paid programming for juicing machines and exercise DVDs. Thanks, CNBC, for being a bankrupt news source. On this day, you were the worldwide leader in dreck. CNBC may want to 86 its positioning in the marketplace because They proved this weekend beyond a shadow of a doubt that they can't live up to their promo braggadocio. When the tsunami finally did arrive, a little late and not with as much bite as advertised, both new media and cable news nets did a fine job of covering its arrival wall to wall. Wow, what a day. So let's give out some overall grades from the tvnews.tv for this extraordinary news event that gripped much of the world on Saturday. CNN, B+, MSNBC, B, Fox News, C+, The Weather Channel, C-, CNBC, well, you have to show up to be graded, but we're going to give you an F. And new media, online coverage, happy to say, A+.
Future events and opportunities brought to you by Dude Walker. Get the best voice. Get the best price. Get Dude at dudewalker.com.
The Academy Awards happen in only 6 days, and we've got your official invitation and directions all ready for our interactive Oscars party for the entire TV industry. Have a look. The tvnews.tv, along with combridges.com, is inviting the entire TV industry to our interactive Oscars party on both Facebook and Twitter. We as an industry will comment in real time about anything and everything that happens and goes on in the Academy Awards telecast. And here's how you can join us. On Facebook, become a fan of the TV News. You can do this by clicking on this link at the tvnews.tv, or you can simply search the tvnews.tv on Facebook. For Twitter, simply go to twitter.com/JohnCombridges/Oscars. Then show up at Facebook or Twitter or both locations at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific on Sunday, March 7th, and join in on all the fun. Oh, and for Twitter, please hashtag all of your tweets with TTVN so they can be followed. We really hope to see you there, and please invite any and all of your colleagues. And that about does it for this edition of the TV News. We'll be back tomorrow with top news, and combridges.com's John Leland will be here with his weekly New Media, New Marketing Report. And then on Wednesday, we welcome Susan Hibben with the Programming Pulse. I'm Jeff Grimshaw. We thank you for watching, and go out and make it a good day.
The TV News has been brought to you by American Ingenuity TV. For all of your electronic marketing and creative challenges, American Ingenuity TV is simply the solution.